The goal today is to just have a productive session. I have a plan of what I want to do. So sets of three in the snatch, a 1+1+2 for clean front squat jerk, and then back squats. Some band work, but like I could do that. It doesn't matter. It could be -10 degrees. I could do the band work, so I'm not worried about that. The snatch and the cleans is going to be hard. So some adjustments I've had to make for today because it's like 25 outside is I'm not at the gym because I'm not sure if I get back out of my neighborhood and then back in. I could barely get into my driveway yesterday, and I assume the roads are getting progressively better because it's not. I think the snow has stopped, but I also don't want to risk it because it's. I had a mishap on the highway a little bit yesterday where I was slipping a little bit, and that was terrifying. So I don't really want to deal with that slash other people because I don't trust other people. It's a good rule of thumb for driving. If you don't trust other people to drive safely, then probably not a good time for you to be out there. So we're out here. I had to dig out. So on this regular video, I'll put a little intro that I recorded walking out here. I think it snowed about a foot, which for Cincinnati, Ohio, is an astronomical amount. It might have even been more. I haven't looked up like news articles or anything that have measured it, but it was a significant amount. And thankfully, I was able to dig out my car enough to get it into the carport, so it won't. If it does, I don't think it's really snowing anymore, but it will eventually get some work done, or at least melt a little bit easier. So I was able to get the driveway cleared enough for that. But I contemplated actually still driving to the gym, but I decided against it. Which I actually just realized that my pre-workout is in the house, which I kind of don't want to go and get, but I kind of same time feel like I think we're just gonna train without it today because I had additional coffee, so we'll leave that in there for another day. But it doesn't feel too bad in here because I think there's no wind coming in. I put the sleeping bag, configured that against the wall, so there's not extra wind blowing in. But honestly, like my hands don't feel too bad. I haven't messed with the bar yet. I put a knee wrap around it to prevent moisture from getting on it. So hopefully that I can get the bar warmed up. But I got big boots on, and actually part of the reason I can ramble here for a little bit is just to let the snow kind of melt off a little bit because it was all over the place. But ideally, I do all the rep work like I have. What's up? And am able to train normally. Not only do I have a sweatshirt, I have like a thermal Under Armour thing underneath. I have my sweatpants, training pants, and I already put my knee sleeves on just to make that. Um, I don't know. I don't train forearms, but I'm hoping that I don't get beat up too bad from the cold. So there's not less to do other than to start warming up. But I still got my winter boots on via my dad, so they're like, I think they're like size 13, which is about a size too big for me, about a size and a half too big, honestly. But they might only be 12 and a halves. But um, I'm in Ohio, but yeah. So I need to start moving the bar a little bit. We got the optimal boots on for at least warming up, but I'm not too worried about getting little bits of snow over the place. Um, I just need to make sure that I can get the bar warm, which it will take a little bit. But back in COVID is when I had to train when it was like in the 30s. So I've done it before. It's just not ideal. But the reason I put this knee wrap around this is for the moisture, just to help prevent rust a little bit, since I will get some condensation in here. They'll be on like the metal of the plates will get some water, which I don't really worry about them being rusted, but certainly don't want the bar to rust. And the other thing is to keep it on the rack when I'm not using it out here, so it's not as close to the ground. That also, I think, helps a little bit with the condensation. Maybe I'm just coping, but I feel like it doesn't make it any worse. I don't bench press anymore, So 10 pounds. I always like how no matter what I do out here, it always comes to like some random political thing. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. I mean, using straps for the snatches should help. Not tear up my hands, of course, since I'm doing triples anyway. I'd be using them regardless. But yeah, this knee wrap itself is cold. I have one little heater going, which isn't going to help much other than with my hands as I'm warming up, just to get my hands just holding on to it. That's really the best way to get the bar warm. Obviously, I could have like taken this inside or something, but that just would have been too much work. Oh yeah, the bar is crispy. So the 2 layers of socks. So that should help a bit, but yeah, I'm definitely feeling the cold. I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. But not too confident about driving to the gym. I think I would have probably been okay, but enough hesitation to get me out here instead of at the gym. Whew. Oh, moisture all over the place, but it'll be alright. Whew. It's really cold. It is not pleasant out here, I will tell you that. I do have some hot tea, decaffeinated, so unfortunately I don't get that little extra caffeine from that, but I don't think the pre-workout being in the house will make too much of a difference for the quality of the session. I think it's going to be kind of a struggle. A struggle lesson regardless. Gonna be struggle bus regardless. Yeah, turn my I don't even know what it is, it just makes it brighter or darker. The settings on my main camera. So it is extremely bright outside and extremely not in here. There we go. We're cooking. But wow, it is really not not a fun idea to train out here, but because the weights are going to be not crazy heavy and then squatting won't really matter, I think it will be okay. It will be okay. But we're gonna get the dance shoes on. What's up? And hopefully these aren't too hopefully they don't have too much airflow. But yeah, I think it snowed about a foot. There's 8 to 12 predicted. And I think if it didn't get to 12, it certainly got close to it. It actually makes my shoe feel a little better to have 2 socks on. Maybe I just always double sock it. My left shoe or left foot's a little smaller than my right foot, I think. And so maybe I just always will double sock it. I don't know, Mason. No idea. I don't think anyone should do YouTube just to get more likes and subscribers. You just do it for fun and get a real job. I think even if I had a gazillion subscribers, I think I would still want to work a normal job so I wouldn't be permanently on the internet. Keep keep the knee sleeve up and comfy. Just do YouTube for fun. Then it becomes too stressful if you're worried about it growing and whatnot, and then it doesn't become fun anymore. Do it for fun. Make sure you have an actual normal source of income, and then just do whatever you want. Then you're not stressed about, oh no, I didn't upload this day or this week or whatever. You just make whatever stuff you want and gets people watching or not. It doesn't really hurt or doesn't really impact you one way or the other. But I would make the kinds of videos that relate to a thing that you like to do and have a purpose. People who just, react or just do nothing and don't have like a passion that they want to talk about and just make random content or steal stuff, they're not really worth anyone's time. Because like for me, lifting, I would be lifting weights with however many subscribers I have now or with none, because I did. So it's irrelevant. Let's see. Let's go. We're closed. Yeah. All right. So good news. I'm in Ohio right now, but no school tomorrow. So today, because I'm a teacher, speaking to Mason as well. This is my real job. I don't YouTube. I don't make any money. I'm not monetized or anything because I haven't got the 4,000 hours of watch time. So I make literally no money doing this. So it's just for fun. But today was a snow day, and it was a professional development day, which for teachers is like a teacher day. So if you've been in school and you didn't have school because it was a teacher day, that's what teachers, is professional development for teachers typically. Sometimes it's a records day where teachers will go in and like get all the grades and stuff finalized for report cards and stuff. But today was going to be a professional development day, so no students. And so they called off school, and then I literally just got the text that they're going to call off school tomorrow for actual, like, students were coming tomorrow, which is really nice because obviously snow days are fantastic. But when you have a winter break, usually every year I've taught, there's been some sort of PD day or teacher day before the students come back, which is really nice because it allows the teachers themselves to transition back into that routine and not just immediately be like, boom, you have a full day of instruction to do. And it's a good transition to get back in the routine of getting up early, getting to the school, and going through the process of all of that. And I think it makes it probably easier for students as well because they're going to be like getting back into that routine as well, and the teachers will have already been there for a day or two prior to that. Every year it's always been at least one day, and I think there's been a couple years where there's been 2 days of like teacher days, because sometimes it's like one teacher day where you have to have like different PD that you go to, and then there's like a records day or something. So some years are different, just depends on the schedule. So very lucky for us to miss the PD day. I mean, like, I wouldn't have been able to drive anywhere this morning, so it wasn't even like an option to go in potentially today. So I wasn't really stressed. Like, are they going to call it or not? Like, if they were telling us to come in, like, I physically couldn't get my car out of my neighborhood. And honestly, like, I mean, we just got that text now, and the area that my school's in is I'm gonna say an industrial area. I don't think that's necessarily the correct word, but it's a well-maintained area with a lot of businesses and like a pretty populous area. So like the roads, if they're going to be good anywhere, are going to be around there. And probably, I mean, there's like a foot of snow, which for this area is just I don't want to say unmanageable, but like it's gonna like it's not surprising. I actually kind of anticipated that there wouldn't be, but I was digging my car out and stuff and got into my carport in anticipation of the potential of having to go to school tomorrow, which I'm glad I know because it still has like a foot of snow on top of it because I just cleared off the front of it so I could get it up the driveway. Because my driveway's not too big, but I wanted to get it into the carport so it would help get the snow off a little bit easier, and potentially let my driveway melt. I don't think it's really going to. It's too cold, but at least give that potential. Obviously, the car's there; it's not going to do much. But got it up in there, and no school tomorrow, so that means I got all the time in the world to train, especially because I'm at the house. So I guess the more time I wait, it's actually not too bad because of the fact that I can acclimate to the cold a little bit longer out here. My hands don't actually feel bad, which is the nice part. Obviously, moving with a bar and stuff is gonna make it feel bad, um, but the idea of just being out in the cold, you eventually get used to. Which I think the worst thing to do in the cold is baseball. I had to do that a couple times when it was like snowing. Um, it hurts to do anything because you can't cover your hands, and you end up swinging a bat. It hurts no matter where you hit it on the bat. Throwing a ball doesn't feel good because your hands are exposed, and yeah, it's not a fun thing. But there we go. But what's up, John? I think you meant to say dude instead of do, but it do be okay with me. I guess I need to start warming up eventually if I'm going to actually be training, which is why I came out here. But snatch, 80 kilos for 5 sets of 3, clean and jerk, 4 singles, or 4 of the complex of clean front squat, 2 jerks at 110, and then 4 sets of 8 back squats at 150, which honestly, like the back squats are the least of my worries, and that's going to be the hardest thing to do. So um, it should be okay, and the bar should actually feel good by then. So, I mean, it won't feel bad to hold it for squats anyway. But this will probably be, I think, the coldest I've ever trained outside. So this is a PR in that sense. I've never, I never trained out below. I mean, during COVID, I think there's probably a couple times around like 32 degrees or whatever. But the feel is like 15 outside, but I don't get that in here because there's no wind. But it's still like 25, 26, so not not ideal. But suppose we move the bar a little bit, see what happens. Not fun. Bar actually doesn't feel too bad though. It's still very cold, but it's not like ice cold, so it's warming up rather quickly, which is good. Big key if you are training and its bar does feel quite cold, have a little space heater, even if it's just a crappy one that has any sort of heat coming from it, because then you can warm up your hands by it and then go back to the bar. And in that process, it will eventually warm up the bar as you're warming up anyway, so it kind of kills two birds with one stone, and it makes it so your hands aren't. So I guess it kills three. It kills a lot of birds. It's it's not good for the environment, I suppose, because you're killing all the birds with it, but does does get the job done. Oh, we do need to like squat and stuff too if I'm gonna be doing full snatches, which is yeah, wow. I can't. They close it quite early too. It's only like 4 o'clock, so they waited longer last night. I don't know what they're. Last night it was like, it was mid blizzard essentially. So I don't know what they were thinking was gonna happen last night. Ugh. Whew. Little baby here struggling a little bit. Do appreciate you guys stopping by and leaving the likes. I get all that dopamine. Thanks, free dopamine. Oh. It is very, very not warm. I think we're gonna do the bar one more time. Make sure there's nothing feeling really weird. I think it's a muscle called tibialis anterior. That's what at least Google told me. The muscle that's next to your shin. I do have some soreness there, which is a very weird spot. But do have to kind of pay attention to that. Everything else feels normal, but I should be able to train normally and feel fine. Just won't really want to go heavy, but hit the bar for one more set. Just move around and make sure it's all as warm as I'm gonna be. The nice thing is I have like 3 layers for my knees, which is just nice because it's this cold, and the thermal is actually doing a really good job of keeping my torso warm. So I think that's why my hands aren't doing too bad right now. Plus the hat, that's where most of your heat leaves through your brain. Even though my brain real small, lets a lot of the heat out. All right. Alright, no time like the present, I suppose. The heck? I'm trying to lift weights, brother. Hey, snowstorm's gonna keep me from getting gains? It's gain o'clock. Just check the time. It's 5 past gains o'clock. Alright. Time to load weight on the bar. The hardest part of training. Getting stronger. Didn't feel too bad. Cooking. Now we're cooking. And the nice thing when training when it's cold is as long as you keep a good pace, it's not as bad because you get warmed up as you move, and as long as you keep moving, you don't get cold. So we're gonna go to 60 and do a triple there, and then get to my working sets at 80, which will probably be made harder by the fact that I'll be doing them fast. At least not rest in between as much. Ten people out here watching me suffer for the gains. Which, like, the big reason I'm pushing 2 train today is that this is kind of day 1 of the, I guess, the week program, but like kind of the progression that I want to continue to do. And so then I would do a day like this today, Wednesday, and Friday, and it just fits well with the other days. So I could have just taken today off, but not when I got a training facility out in my backyard. All right. Threes. Now for the fun part, the 5 sets of 3. Which would be hard no matter what the temperature was. Won't be sweating today with them though. People want to watch me suffer. Be a good amount of volume to do in general. I should bring my hot tea over here so I can actually drink it in between sets. The question is it hot? How will my Yeti work? Pretty decent actually. What's up, Mario? He's a Mario. Oh, mamma mia. He's a Mario. Watch me suffer. Oh, I wish I was the red Mario with all the fire. That wouldn't be cold. But first triple, 80. First to 5, unless I trip and break my leg. Alright, it gives me a lot of confidence that it'll work. Mario, you gotta spell that right. So, 1/5 complete. Which still felt really good, which is nice. Like positions, everything felt good. Where I caught it felt good. Wasn't like low back isn't getting like a pump or anything, which is ideal. No excuses, Mario. No excuses. Excuses are like feet. We all have them and they all stink. Oh, 1/3. Or 1/5 done. Alright. No time waiting around getting cold. I feel really good today. Feels good to have done all the preparatory steps to make it manageable out here and it actually working. But set to 3 are difficult. Gassing me. So 2/5. For sure when I do 5. It's definitely like way the weight's moving. It's definitely like perfect. Like it feels perfect. I could go up, but it's not the goal today. The goal today is build volume. Or to do volume. There's too much snow for the Walking Dead. They get caught in the snow. There's like a foot of snow outside. But I don't think they'd be able to get in. Door's a little too tough for a zombie. Alright. The double socks were clutch too. Toes are even a little cold now. But do the next set. Third of 5. race. Mondays in there. Tony, I hope they're not training in this kind of weather in Kazakhstan. I mean, they had a bad facility. That's what I should get, is a Kazakhstan flag, and whatchamacallit, make people really confused. Learn like 3 Russian or Kazakhstan phrases. But it's cold, Tony. I don't know where you're situated, but we got hit with like a foot of snow. And I say I think it was as close to I hate to say a foot because it seems dramatic, but I think it might have actually been. Oh yeah. So I mean, in Colorado, it's like they're gonna have systems in place to get snow out of the way. In this part of the state, there isn't. They have plows and stuff, but it just takes longer. Where I grew up in the northern part of the state, they had a lot more like snow plows and preparation and stuff prior to storms. But yeah, down here we got called off today and tomorrow. Today was just a PD day, teacher day, so no students. But tomorrow is a student day, and they called that off already as well. But I was actually concerned, like, it's like I probably could get there, but like it wasn't going to be easy to get out of my neighborhood. Okay, but yeah, my friend actually moved out to Colorado. So during the hurricanes in Florida, he used to live in Florida, and I texted him, asked him, if he had evacuated or something. He's like, I live in Colorado now. I'm like, yeah. All right, well, I guess you don't have to worry about the hurricanes now. But I didn't know that he moved out. Because, I mean, we kind of have the bro friendship where every couple of years we'll talk and, stuff is updated that way, but not very frequently. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful state, and it's like you can get to the snow easily, but I imagine it's not like Alaska where there's, snow year round, or, there's nice, it's kind of like I guess I only know Ohio where they're like the seasons, but like there's, the 4 seasons. But all right, 4th set. My toes are hurting. All right, Tony, coach me up on these 80s. Oh. Oh yeah, that one was bad. Second one sucked. I could feel it, like, as I was turning over, I was like, I missed it. I love the summers, though. Down in Cincinnati, compared to where I grew up in towards Akron, it's like 4 degrees difference generally, so it's not like a dramatic difference, but I do notice the winters are more mild slightly, and the summers are hotter, which I prefer anyway. My sister said I live in the South. I'm like, I don't think the southern portion of Ohio is the South. I think you got to get into Kentucky and Tennessee for that. And I'm sure, like, I don't know. I don't consider this South, but southern part. Yeah, like I feel like I'm like 35-ish minutes from the border, so I feel like once you get into Kentucky, you're in the South, and I think that's a good rule of thumb. But that's where I feel Kentucky's in the South. I feel like Ohio's in the North, every part of Ohio, but it is a large state. To get all the way to Cleveland from Cincinnati, it would probably take 4.5 hours. What's up, Adrian? But yeah, like, yeah, Matt, I think that's just you. Can you hear me, Tony? Tony. Yeah, so that's just that's just that guy. I figured since we were conversing, I was like, unless you're like an expert lip reader or something, but good times. One more set, so I mean, Adrian, I just cleared snow today. That's all I've had to do, so I don't feel very stressed. I don't know. I just be lifting, but yeah. I guess it's stressful to like warm up, but now I'm lifting well, so it's not too bad. Now I'm like physically warm, so I'm kind of grooving at this point. No school tomorrow. Didn't have work today. So absolutely vibing. Small talk is rare. I guess that probably is a very American. There are probably idiosyncrasies with Americans. I think I have heard that versus some places, like people in America will small talk more, but I also don't know. I only talk to, in real life, IRL, with other Americans for the most part. But I'm small talking people from other countries. Alright, so my last triple. I wanted to add weight for this one, but I think what I'll do, if I'm feeling it, then I'll do 5. Be hilarious to do a set of 10, but that sounds actually horrendous. So we'll see. 3 reps for sure. Then we'll see if I'm a CrossFitter. Thought about doing more, but quality would have just got too bad. Honestly, a pretty easy set of 5. I don't have any, well, I'm gonna ruin your time, Adrian. So I have no interest in rugby whatsoever. and I don't watch MMA, which I think that's Sean Strickland. I don't have any interest in MMA. I don't watch boxing, MMA. Rugby is a pretty common thing for Americans not to care about, but my friend likes fighting stuff. I just can't be bothered, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending how you feel about it. I'm pretty ambivalent about it. I just don't find it very interesting. And I don't like seeing injuries, which happen all the time in fights. Whew. Back's not getting too pumped from those, which means I was using my legs enough and not just my low back, which is good. Yeah, like I'll watch. I mean, this is the Cleveland Browns, so I've never played. I played 1 year of American football, a couple years of soccer, but mostly baseball and basketball. But yeah, the main sport I watch now is football. Baseball, as I stopped playing, became less interesting to watch. Basketball is not fun to watch anymore because they don't really play basketball. They just shoot 3-pointers, and I don't really care enough. Plus, like, I'm not going to pay for 4,000 different streaming services to watch all the different sports. Unfortunately, with the way that streaming services have moved, that if you want to watch a one team play, you're going to be spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and it's just frankly not a good enough product to pay that much money for something when you still have to watch ads. That's the thing, is like, if you have to watch ads, even if you pay for the stream, like if you're watching something that has ads, you are paying with your attention. And so if you find alternative streams to watch sports, if you still have to watch ads because you can't pause it or whatever, or fast forward or whatever through it, then you are paying with your attention. So it's not, I have no moral objections with that. If you are getting something in an alternative way and you don't have ads or anything with it, then I would say that's some more moral ambiguity. But honestly, the other thing is, to watch a sport on an alternative way is easier than to find the normal ways. Like, I honestly don't know, if I was going to watch Cleveland Browns as an example, how I would have watched every single game this year, like what streaming services I would need to pay for or whatever with it. And frankly, it's not worth it to pay $300 or whatever it would be to watch all of one team play, or any of that. Yeah, because I mean, a lot of American football, anyone that plays rugby probably played American football, so it makes sense that they're going to like both, because it's from the skill set. If you're going to transfer to rugby, having played American football is going to be an easier transition than someone like me for baseball. I only have ever known one person in America that's cared about or liked cricket, and he has family from India. My problem with cricket is that it makes no sense and it looks weird, and I've tried to look at a video of it explaining it, and it doesn't make it seem any more interesting. And frankly, like, baseball is more interesting than cricket. And that's the nice thing with with my cultural bias, is like there's no pressure to watch cricket or rugby. Like, there's just, I would have to go out and seek it. So it's easier to find those other sports. But I guess it's not really hard to hate cricket and rugby. Like, they're just, like, rugby at least makes sense. I just don't have any care for any particular team or any country that plays it or anything like that. I do think the New Zealand people that do that weird dance, I think that's very cringe, and I don't understand why people like that. And I get it's a traditional dance or whatever, but I think it's just hilarious and kind of weird looking, and I don't understand why they think it's cool to do that. But that's probably me just being a hater with that. Um, but like, yeah, cricket, like I don't even. It doesn't make any sense, any part of it. And if I'm gonna watch a bat and ball sport, it's gonna be baseball, even golf. But not. Honestly, the older I've gotten, the less sports in general that I've watched, and I think a lot of that's because like Sports Center is just not available very easily. It's not like a morning routine to see that and see all the highlights and stuff. You have to really go out and seek stuff, and I think with at least with American football, there's a lot of good content creators on YouTube that make it interesting. If it wasn't for like Perna's and Tom Grossi's, like I probably wouldn't nearly care as much about NFL football as I do. And I'm sure there's the equivalent for rugby and stuff and all of that. I just so I take it, Lyric, that you like their dancing thing that they do before their matches. I just can't imagine being on the other side. Like, all right, it's time to start the match, and you gotta let them finish their dance. To me, I just find it goofy. I'm more. It's impressive to see the other team as they're doing all their thing, not just crack up, because that would be me as a competitor. If I want to beat the other team, I would just be giggling the whole time, and I wouldn't be able to take them serious. But it's hilarious to me. It's just looks funny, and I'm surprised more of the competitors don't poke and jab at it. I guess because being sensitive. But hey, if you're a competitor, you want to get in their heads. Don't pay attention to their dance and start giggling at it. It's, we'll do 90 now and then go up to 110. What's up, Reed? I'm out here struggling in the cold. But yeah, I think that's like another. I think that's something because I guess hockey would be a good comparison for myself and rugby because I didn't grow up around hockey or anything, but I understand it to a higher extent. It's because of video games, and um, yeah, like they're still ESPN, but like I'm not paying to stream it. That's I'm not ESPN's not good enough to find a streaming. I don't have any streaming services. YouTube Premium's the only thing I have. That's a watching thing. I just don't have the desire to waste all my money on that. But hockey's a good comparison for me for rugby, not in the sense that the sports are comparable, but in the fact that I played a video game of hockey and I understood it a lot more, and not necessarily that I pay attention to anything about hockey, but I at least can appreciate it or can understand it a little bit more. If there was a cricket video game, which kind of sounds hilarious, I don't know if that would even work, or a rugby video game, which would be pretty cool. Like if they had those, I think that would help its proliferation in America certainly a lot more. Maybe in Dance Dance Revolution, they could do the New Zealand rugby dance, and then that would make me appreciate the dance more. But yeah, Reed, you missed. I was making fun of the New Zealand rugby players that dance before their matches and how I wouldn't be able to keep a straight face if I was on the other side watching them do their minute-long dance or whatever. I would just be giggling because I'm a competitive person and I want to try to get in their heads. Be a bit of an a-hole. Guess maybe I'm a bad person, but I feel like that would just be the hot, yeah. Is there actually like a rugby video game? So the teacher development day got canceled, and tomorrow is canceled. So it was going to be a student day tomorrow, So my assumption is that the PD day, from based on what the email communications they sent out, is just going to be moved to a different day in the month. So no work today, no school tomorrow. The roads are still really bad. I was actually like worried about. I am 6'9" and I weigh 690 pounds. Stroud, I am 6'9", 690 pounds. I'm an absolute unit. No, I'm actually 5'11", and between like 107 and 108. But if anyone asks, I think someone kept asking on a short. I don't know why. I just decided to be a goofball. But he was like, "How age and height?" And I just said 6'9", 69 years old. But what is it on like a game system or is it on like Steam? Your message for some reason got held for review, Shroud. Well, that's just a YouTube type thing. So Stroud is calling me fat. It's pretty toxic. I guess I am 690 pounds. I'm basically like a video game character that you can just max out all the stats with. So I'm just a big chungus. I had to fight out my driveway for like an hour to get my car into the carport so it could actually let my driveway hopefully melt off a little bit. That was an adventure. I was really worried that my car wasn't going to move anywhere, but I was able to get enough momentum to get it up into it. There's still like a foot of snow on the top of my car. All right. Clean, front squat, 2 jerks. Out here doing volume though. It's like 25 degrees outside. It stopped finally. It snowed until like probably. It was snowing when I was cleaning the driveway off at 1 o'clock. So I think it said it was supposed to stop at 3, which I think was actually pretty close to when it stopped. Xbox and PS. Hey, you have a good one too, Adrian. I don't have either of those game systems, so it'd have to be on Steam. PS3s are too expensive. Adrian, I don't ever worry about these live streams because people either don't understand lifting or they don't care. But you have a good one there, bud. South Africa, I assume it's not as cold as here. Whew. But no, the snow stopped. It's supposed to snow 1 to 3 inches Friday night, which is absolute worst time for snow on the weekends. But that shouldn't be too bad. It was like legitimately, I think, a foot of snow. Because it was predicted 8 to 12 yesterday, and then 1 to 3 in the morning, like in the early hours of today. And it basically was that. I recorded a little intro of when I shoveled out this pathway, but you can see how much snow kind of, if you go to my Instagram, I took a little story after I got my car in my port. You see just how much crazy amounts of snow there is. For down here, it's by far I think it's the most I've ever experienced in my life, but no, not at all. Not down in up in northern Ohio near the lake. You'll get like kind of it's the idea of like how Buffalo Bills games will get messed up. It's like up by the lake in Cleveland, you'll get tons of lake effect snow. All that snow goes through all the lakes and smashes New York and all of that. Here, getting like 4 to 5 inches is really rare. We've probably had, there's one other storm that I remember that was similar to this, but I think this one actually had more because I don't remember shoveling this much snow before. And I think it was a lot more like during the day, so it didn't get as bad. Like this was just the perfect timing where it started at like 3 o'clock or so yesterday and just went through the night, and it already being cold made it just really horrendous. So not to this level at all. I don't know what the record is. I'm sure there's been bigger storms, but when it said 8 to 12 inches, I haven't seen that since I've been a kid, and not even. Um, yeah, and it's like we usually get one, I would say, but sometimes it's just like it's just super cold or it's ice. It's not usually snow like this. But yeah, like this level amount of snow, I don't. It's so much that like they weren't prepared, or I don't say they weren't prepared, but like they don't have the systems in place as much as up closer to the lake, where they have a lot of like pre-salting and plows and stuff on the ready. It's roads get bad really fast. Like 4 to 5 inches would have shut down everything, but with the amount of snow that we got yesterday and today, like not just schools were closed, but I had several friends that were like businesses were closed. Like they couldn't have to. I mean, my one friend is like I couldn't even get out the drive, like his own driveway. So like it wasn't even like people were like, oh, I just don't want to. It snowed. Like people legitimately couldn't move their cars. I know I wouldn't have been able to go anywhere this morning. I was worried. The roads look like my street looks a lot better now, and I was like I could probably get there, but yesterday on the highway, I kind of drifted and hit the median a little bit. Kind of freaked me out, so I don't necessarily want to be testing the highways again. And thankfully I was going only like 35. It didn't damage my car at all. I think the only thing it did is my alignment got a little messed up. But yeah, when you catch a little snow and you just start going, I see the temptation of people there. You see a lot of people that are like spun around and stuff, and you can see that when you start to get yanked to the side, that your initial like monkey brain is like, all right, I got to crank it back the other way. But that's a good way to corkscrew your whole car. So I just glided, and it was a cement median, and hit it basically parallel because it didn't do any damage to my car. Bounced off of it and just kept hammering on the highway. It was a very quiet drive for the last. It ended up being like 25 more minutes of driving because it was so slow. But I was really worried that like I had done like traumatic stuff to the side of it. But I didn't even. I mean, like it's still dirty from the snow and stuff, but like I honestly don't even see a scratch. And probably not this last summer, but the summer before, when I was driving through the gym, I didn't really get brake checked. There's just a main road, and I stopped a little. I stopped a little fast, but also someone was turning left, and so I kind of had to hard brake a little bit because I thought there was a turning lane on this one road, but it was the previous one. This one didn't have a turning lane, so I had to stop pretty fast, and the person behind me did not stop very fast either, and he slammed into my rear end, and we both looked at our cars, and I didn't have any damage on that either, and he was, I mean, I don't know how fast he was going when he did it, but it was a good little bump that he gave me, and I thought, bumper would be messed up, but my Malibu's pretty, it's like a tank. You can drive it, you can do a lot with it, but I don't understand how that didn't even leave any sort of damage at all, which was surprising. But yeah, that I'll probably find out. But I do need to I do need to take it somewhere to get the tires rotated in general. Obviously, I can't do that today because there's probably not even open. But at some point, we'll need to get the alignment looked at. Which driving it was going from being straight to like very slight, but it was slightly noticeable. It wasn't like it was. I mean, I was driving in the snow, so it's hard to tell if it was pulling or not. But it's not like it's like a 45-degree angle or anything crazy like that. So I don't think it's messed up too bad. But yeah, as you said, but tis but a scratch. I was ready for it to be destroyed and be like, all right, I guess I'm getting a new car now. But no, it's still. I'll drive the thing off a cliff, it'd be okay. All right, so 4 singles at this weight. Clean, front squat, 2 jerks. Blah. Yeah, Reed, don't tell my mom about my car shenanigans. She'd get freaked out. I think I mentioned it to my dad, the rear ending thing, but because I mean, it wouldn't be my fault if some rear ends you. It's not your fault, but I didn't want to go through the hoopla of the insurance and stuff. What are you on, Jacob? Karate moves? Hey, thanks, Reed. You have a good workout. I'm glad you're able to. Well, I guess you didn't get hit by the snow, so glad you're able to have a normal training session. But what's wrong with you, Jacob? Look at any of my videos on my channel. Do you think I know anything about any sort of martial arts? Oh. Alright, one clean and jerk set. Set number 2. Second one down. I'm actually sweating a little bit. I'll take it. I'll take some perspiration. Not really, though. No. What? You mean most random crap to do? I ain't doing that. I'm gonna do this clean jerk complex and then some back squats. Ain't doing no calisthenics. Unfortunately, Jacob, you can't really influence me to do anything unless I'm already going to do it. I'm not really influenced that easily, unfortunately. A back press? You mean a behind the neck press? I'm doing a back squat after this. Unless you're telling me do your next set of clean front squat 2 jerks. If you want to feel successful. Oh, yeah. I'm not doing that today, but that's a good exercise. Behind the neck jerks. Not on the menu today. One more of those. You can keep making suggestions, Jacob, but I'm doing clean, front squat, 2 jerks, and back squats. The a la carte menu. This is 110 kilos, so 242. I don't know why you think is it Orton? Is that a WWE? I don't watch fake wrestling. We're real wrestling. I don't understand WWE. But yeah, 4 sets here at 110 for this complex. So clean front squat, 2 jerks. Then we'll see how back squats are feeling. Maybe sets of 8. We'll see. If the leg feels weird, then we'll stop. But so far, I don't have any discomfort, which is good. And I'm like, my body's feeling warm, which is the big concern out here. Yeah, Marco, I don't watch WWE. I think that stuff's stupid, but I don't understand how people can watch that unironically. All right, enough of those. It's like Marco got very mad. Delete all his messages. Marco left. No, I'm a Olympic weightlifter. I'm being peer pressure to do a powerlifting meet though, but I don't want to. Sorry. Email about school tomorrow. Or the lack thereof. Alright, so goals with squatting today. I put 150 on there, potentially for sets of 8. We'll see how things are moving and grooving. We'll see. Kind of curious what that 110 looked like. Eh, the the jerk dip drive was decent, but I feel like I could have done it a little better. But certainly, I like how I was trying to move it aggressively though. Get my knees just pulled up a little bit. Yeah. All right. Time to get the bar unloaded and then put on the rack. It feels too bad, so we'll just start putting weight on. Alright, so 70. See how this feels. Maybe we just do a heavy set today. We'll see. This is 170. This will kind of tell me what's there. I think we see what's there today. So, I'm gonna need music for this, so deuces.